Well, I'm in our field corn, and it's a bit uneven. I didn't have a lot of hope for it when it was so cold and wet after we seeded it, but I'm surprised. It's amazingly resilient. It's a lot different than growing sweet corn. The plants for sweet corn are a lot smaller, and they tassel out a lot sooner. They have a lot less weed competition, but this is quite impressive. It's almost up to my shoulders in places. We use field corn. You're familiar with it in cornmeal muffins, all these kinds of things. We use it in our feed for chickens. It is very high energy, so we have to balance energy, protein, and all of these things, and the corn really helps us to do that. There's the corn behind me. As you can see, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it might have. There's a fair amount of corn in this field, so I'm eager to see what it turns into. Winter wheat is always a risk. You plant it in the fall, and depending on how well it grows up until the winter determines in part whether you'll have a crop next year. And then the winter has to be good, because if the temperature gets minus 20 Celsius when the crown of the plant is exposed, then it winter kills. Last year, it was really, really dry. And you can go back and find that video if you want to look at it. But it was really dry, and I was worried because a bunch of this did not germinate until after the last date that I would have planted. So it's fine to plant it, but if it doesn't germinate, then you're not good. And so you can see there's quite a few weeds here. You can see all the grasses and stuff. Wherever there was poor germination, the weeds tend to grow up. We'll be able to screen most of the weed seed out, so we should get some good wheat out of here. We'll just have to make sure that we harvest it quite promptly. I seeded clover in here to get a green manure growing up underneath it, and I want to see how it's made out. See all this clover? This is growing up underneath of the wheat. So when we take the wheat off, it'll be a field of clover. And my bird of the day is what I believe is a young song sparrow. Sparrows are challenging to identify at the best of times, but then you get the young ones, and their colors and lines are not fully developed, and they are even more challenging. But song sparrows are very common around the farm, and they sing all day long. Based on its location and based on the coloring, I'm quite sure that is what this is. And here's the adult song sparrow from around the other side of the barn.